Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome to Self Shoots the Shit. This is episode 21. I'm your host, Joshua Self. I'm recording right now as the Patriots advance their way to yet another Super Bowl. I hope time doesn't prove me wrong on that one. There are a few other things that happened over the past week or so. We had Broner really getting tagged by Pacquiao. And he goes to interviews and says, like, oh, I beat him. It's like, you got your ass whooped, buddy. Like, this dude has you stumbling all around the ring, looking off into outer space while he's coming at you. I don't know what that dude was on, but it was certainly not on beating Pacquiao. And we want to support our brothers out there trying to do their thing, but I'm sorry, in this pace, you didn't get there, buddy. I hate to tell it to you. But who really didn't get there was Clemson. They got this presidential dinner. Fantastic stuff. You know, you get McDonald's, some Wendy's. They had some salad in there, but you've got the president bringing in the champions to the White House, and all you get is some burgers and some fries. They're not even like high quality burgers and fries. You get the shit that regular motherfuckers eat when they ain't got no money. I'm talking about four for four. Let me see what's on that dollar menu. Like, really? That's what you finna get. You wearing suits, blazers, ties, your dress shoes, your slacks, so you can get some faux for faux from Wendy's. That's terrible. That's terrible. I think the most terrible thing that's happened over the past week or so is the backlash from certain men to the Gillette ad. And that's what I really want to talk about. Gillette put out an ad for those of y'all who don't know, addressing toxic masculinity, the Me Too movement, bullying, etc. Basically saying that men should be held accountable for their actions. So the first thing I want to approach is the commercial itself is actually a bad commercial. It is not the type of commercial that gets people to buy your product. It's not clever. It's not kind of funny or really memorable. It's very, very over the top, very, very heavy handed. It's very preachy. It's just not the kind of commercial that you really can enjoy while you're watching your football game or you're watching the basketball game or Law and Order, whatever it is that you like to watch. It's just commercial kind of takes you outside of this mindless entertainment experience and it's like, hey, let's talk about some real issues now. It's like, wait, no. I want to drink my beer and sit here with my hands down my pants and watch the football game. You're trying to make me come to terms with some real life shit. I don't want to do that. Please don't make me do that shit because I don't want to. That being said, their slogan, the best a man can get, and the thing that they attach to this particular commercial, what's the best that a man can be, I think is really important. And the commercial itself, while the way they delivered it was kind of shitty. What they're trying to talk about is very important. It's something that we men need to discuss. And it's something we need to really address in our own groups. Like, we need to hold other men accountable. So even if we say, I don't do things like sexually assault women, I don't sexually harass women or men, I don't engage in bullying or any other form of this toxic masculinity. The issue is that we let other men who do it around us have a pass. Like, we see someone else being bullied, we see another man harassing someone, like, or even if we see or hear about someone assaulting someone else, we don't do anything about it. We just let them go on about their day like nothing happened. Like, what they did is actually okay. It's like, oh, you're harassing this woman that clearly is not interested in you. She doesn't want to be bothered. Oh, it's kind of cute. It's kind of funny. Like, we cool. I'm not going to say anything. I don't want to mess him up. I don't want to disrupt his day. But you fucking up this other person's day. Like, your friend grabs this woman's arm and she don't want to be grabbed. She don't really want to be touched. And you got this dude that's bothering her all the time. And she's making it clear, like, leave me alone. And as this person's friend, you could easily step in and be like, hey, bro, that's just not cool. Just leave her alone. She won't be bothered. She's not interested. Leave her alone. Or why are you trying to beat up on this person that's smaller than you? Why are you trying to like physically intimidate this other person just because they're like a smaller stature than you are? Just leave them alone. You know, we can talk like reasonable adults. Like we can all be civil here, but we give our friends, our family members a pass to do whatever the fuck they want to do. And when it hurts other people, we want to act like it didn't happen. We turn our heads away. We want to pretend like there's nothing wrong going on right now, instead of saying, hey, the shit that you're doing is not right. You're hurting this other person and you need to stop. And the issue is we just don't say anything about it. We don't do anything about it. And then we excuse all this type of behavior saying boys will be boys. And the issue really starts at a young age. And the commercial kind of points that out where you got this one kid kind of beating up on this slightly smaller kid, and the people around him are just like, boys will be boys. And you have this one guy that comes up, he's like, hey, this is not how you treat people. Like, we don't want to do that shit anymore. And that's really the issue, is that these young boys at a very early age are told boys will be boys, so their destructive behavior is excused just because boys will be boys. It's like you can break things, you can hurt other people, doesn't matter because boys will be boys. So you just get a free pass to do what the fuck you want to do. And when they get older, and then someone is like, hey, that's not right. You're like, I've been doing this shit my whole life. Boys will be boys, right? Like, why you got a problem with it, you know? So when you have women that are being hurt, we have other men that are being hurt all the time, and we excuse these actions of men. We sweep this shit on the rug like, yeah, it's whatever, it's okay, it's not a big deal. And then we wonder, why do we have rapists running around all the time? Like, why are we always hearing about so-and-so got killed by so-and-so? And it's because we're excusing people's actions for so long until someone gets really fucking hurt, you know? So most people will say, hey, it's not cool to rape somebody. Most people say, hey, it's not cool to shoot somebody. It's not cool to beat somebody up, that kind of thing. The issue is we don't stop the behavior at the beginning. When someone starts off with like hitting on a woman and she doesn't want it, and she makes it clear, like, I'm not interested, don't bother me, but you keep going, you know, you stick with it until maybe she'll cave if I keep bothering her with this shit. And the people around you don't say anything to you about it. We see people getting harassed all the time and no one steps in, and we wonder, how did it escalate? You know, like, how did it get to this point? Because no one stopped it when it was nothing, really. Like, that's the issue. Like, if you want your kid to clean their room up when they're an adult, you're not going to wait till they're an adult to be like, okay, maybe you should clean your shit up. It's like, no. Like, as soon as you're physically able to understand, like, hey, don't leave your shit out everywhere. You know, pick your clothes up, pick your toys up, put all your things away. And then by the time they get older, they'll already be in the habit of it. Like, this is just part of what I do. I put my things away. When I get done with it, I keep my place clean and keep my place neat so I can avoid all these other issues that come along with having a dirty place, like missing things, or you got bugs and roaches and all that shit. Like, as parents and as teachers and people in the prior community, you start when the kid is small. Hey, put your things away. Like, even if they can't fully understand the consequences yet, you still explain to them, put your shit away, you know, when it's time to go to bed or whatever the schedule you have for them. You know, you put your things away. You make your bed, or you fold your clothes up, you hang your clothes up, or put your toys away, all that kind of thing. And when it comes to respecting women, when it comes to respecting other men, when it comes to respecting yourself, you have to start at an early age. Like, as soon as they're able to understand this, like, hey, this is how you treat people, this is not how you treat people. And when they step out of line, you say, hey, this is not what we're going to be doing. Like, you need to make a correction to your action, to your thinking, to your behavior. You need to fix that. We're going to stay on top of that until you get it right. Instead of, oh, boys will be boys, we'll just let this shit slide. Like, it's cool, whatever. It's not that big of a deal. Then when they get older and they're actually able to brutalize somebody, as opposed to when they're a kid and they can't really hurt anybody that bad. Now it's like, well, how come he beat this person up? How come he's not respecting women? How come he's beating on his women? Why are all these things happening? It's like, well, we didn't curve it when they were a youngster, when they were learning things. Now that they've grown and they've already got a full understanding of how they feel like the world works, but you can't really fix it now. It's a little bit too late. So when Terry Crews came forward and was like, hey, this man sexually assaulted me, a lot of men really kind of kicked him out the group. Like, hey, you can't be ratting on us like that. You're supposed to be one of us, but now you're trying to point the finger back at us like we did something to you personally. And I think that for him, it's got to be tough when you have a lot of men that are basically, they don't want to fuck with you no more because you essentially snitched on another man. But what he was saying is just like, men have to be accountable for their actions. And as long as men are not held accountable by other men, there's always going to be a problem. So we need to address this issue with aggression. You can't just let this shit slide. As long as you let this shit slide when it's something that's not that big of a deal, it's not going to stop until it is that big of a deal. So you have, a woman getting drugged, you have someone getting beat like repeatedly by their boyfriend, their husband, all these kind of crazy shit. We're just like, how does somebody get to that point? But we don't curb it in its infancy. Like, we allow these toxic behaviors to develop into manhood, and now you have men getting way too rough with other people, and we're wondering like, man, this person got beat up by so and so. Like, how did we get to this point? And I feel like the response by a large part of the internet to it is really telling, when we're, as men, are so used to getting away with shit, having someone expose things to light, having someone say that the shit that you're doing is actually wrong, the shit that you're doing is hurting other people. Like, that's the part that really gets folks going. Like, it's very easy to just ignore stuff or wait till it gets to, well, he raped her and all this shit. It's like, well, okay, maybe now we'll step in. But we won't step in when the guy's really aggressively flirting with women in the workplace, making inappropriate jokes, inappropriate comments, and that kind of thing. It's making people feel uncomfortable in general, and no one wants to address that. Because it's kind of benign. Like, it's not that big of a deal, right? But then when you have like a serial rapist, or this dude's like beating his wife for years and shit like that, it's like, well, damn, how'd you end up like that? And that's the crazy part about it. And there's so many people that feel threatened by someone exposing this type of behavior, like someone saying like, this is actually not okay. It's like, whoa, I've been doing this for years. You can't tell me it's not okay now. That's one of the issues with the internet. Is like, you really get to see how people really feel. When people feel like they can't be punished for the comments that they make, they're going to say how they really feel. And when you look at people have been saying about this stuff, it's like, man, it's a lot of dudes out there that really just don't care, or they don't know, and they're just going to keep on hurting other people, hurting themselves. Because it's some fucked up shit out there, guys. Like, it's tough. But I think that the commercial kind of, it doesn't do a great job of showcasing what a strong man is supposed to look like, what a good man is supposed to look like a man that's about his shit. Like, he's still a man. Like, he ain't no bitch, but he's able to be a man without putting somebody else down. I think that's where we really get to one of the issues. Like, I'm not going to say that this is the only issue, because topics like this, there's a whole lot of things that go into it. But one of the big factors to me that I've seen is that men establish their manhood by putting other people down. And a lot of times it's not even like directly putting people down, but basically, um, I'm the man and you're either not as manly as me, or you're a woman, so you're not at my level. And that's where things get really dicey. We have um, like a lot of music that starts off with like, bitch, I'm the man, hoe, I'm the man. It's like, wait a minute. So in order to be the man, you need her to be a hoe? Like, she can't just be a woman. She can't be a lady. She has to be a hoe. Like, that's the only way you can be a man. And we have men who's like, well, I have to knock down this other guy. I had to uh, bully this other man so I can be a man. And one of the things that I was taught by my own father is that when you really want to be the man, you've got to be able to do it in a way that doesn't tear down other people. Like, where you don't need someone else to be less than in order for you to be great. Like, you have to be able to, at the very least, be a man within yourself, instead of, well, this dude is weaker than me physically. This dude doesn't make as much money as me. Like, this dude isn't getting as many women as I do. Or like that kind of comparative thinking where it's like, I need to knock somebody else down. I need to kick somebody else off this pedestal so I can be up here on top. I can be the man. So you can't tell me shit. And like, I want to be the man, so you gotta be a bitch. Or I want to be the man, so I don't even want a woman to give me any type of lip. Don't say nothing to me. Like, you do what I say, and all this kind of thing. And being the man is more about like building up the community, building up the people around you, being able to support other people's hopes and dreams as well as your own. Like, it's not really about tearing down folks. It's about building up people, like building a family, like have this family be great, like have everybody within the family be successful and not feel like they had to bow down before you or some shit like that. But it's difficult when you're born into a society where everybody says that because you're a man, you're entitled to all these things. You get to do whatever you want to. It's a man's world. It's hard to not take advantage of that. It's hard to not be corrupted by that kind of mentality and want to punish people that are around you in terms of like, hey, I'm a man, so it doesn't really matter what you say. Like, my opinion is more important than yours. Like, I've talked with teachers and whatnot where they have students who have a hard time following directions from a woman. If a man tells them, it's like, okay, cool, whatever, I'll do it. But when they say it, it's like, nah, you're not finna tell me shit because I'm a man, you're not. And we have to really instill in our children to be respectful of authority, whether it's from a man or a woman, and to really be respectful of people in general. Like, this whole idea that because I'm a man and you're a woman, that somehow I'm better than you is ridiculous. And I hate that there's so many people that have really subscribed to this newsletter. Like, we men and you women, so we're on top. Y'all gotta do what we say. And it doesn't matter if what we say is detrimental to your own health, to your physical well-being, your mental health, or anything like that. It's like, it doesn't fucking matter. You gotta do what we say. And that's just crazy. Like, that's just terrible. And I really hate that, especially for women. Because men will take advantage of this shit in a heartbeat. And we have to really be cognizant of this thing that's going on. And we have to really get on top of it at an early age to be respectful of others, be respectful of ourselves, to value other people, to understand that a woman is not less than a man, to understand that a man that isn't of the same physical stature as you or the same financial stature as you is not inherently less than you. And we have to really start teaching our kids this so they can respect each other, respect others, and we can all live a happy life. You know, it's tough, and I wish that there was an easy fix, but there isn't. You know, it's one of those things you just have to keep staying on top of it, be vigilant with it, and one day, hopefully we'll get there and everybody be straight. But until then, I'm gonna keep talking about this shit. So y'all have a great week.